If you hunt just one buck in one spot for too long, you will burn out both the spot and yourself. With several hunts already invested in the No Name 10 and a growing sense that he has moved on, I know I must broaden my options or risk burnout. The next buck on the list is one I called the Tight Racked 10. We filmed this mature buck in 2014 on a big bottom field. Back in September and early October, I got a number of photos of the buck in the same general area. With the need to see new country, I head for the big bottom on November 4th, stopping short of the field and settling on a stand that overlooks a heavy trail along the downslope. During the rut, bucks travel restlessly between doe bedding areas, and this stand hangs between two such endpoints. The same morning, Rick Knochel takes his father Eric into a small isolated food plot where Rick has been getting photos of a unique old buck he nicknamed Halo.
Hey guys, that's the morning of November 4th, real foggy morning, and sitting in the big green, that's what we call this box bind, with my dad, and we're going after a buck we call Halo. We're hoping he comes through. He's been showing some daylight movement through this area, just had some does come through, and just waiting. It's November, anything can happen.
Mark.
Oh, that dude, he come in fast. I mean, there's a blind spot over there. Wow. That's him. Oh, Halo. Oh. I think I put it in there. It was sticking out though, wasn't it? The arrow was sticking out when he ran. Perfect. That's good. We'll go up and look at it on the big screen. Bam. Our stand's probably maybe 50 yards down here to the left, behind them evergreens. And this is the food plot, or the plot screen that I was talking about. About another 100 yards right there is our house. So you can't really see the stand from the house. You can't see the house from the stand. It worked out good this morning.
Yes,
man.
it did.
Punishment that you get for knocking down decoys.
Yeah, you can knock our decoys down. We're gonna. Oh my goodness.
I'm telling you.
That's ridiculous.
We typically do our bow practice from off the porch and shoot at these decoys. This is our 20-yard shot, and then back behind here is our 30-yard shot. I came out here last week on Thursday, and these things were destroyed. I mean, this one just knocked over, but this one here, he ripped the antlers off of it and everything.
Oh, you got some feet left.
Oh yeah.
That might have been the work of old Halo.
It looks pretty severe.
And I'm telling you, you got back after him.
You pay the price. Oh man, I'm telling you what an awesome morning. What an awesome morning.
The Knochels use plot screen from frigid forage to create a barrier between their house and the food plot they're hunting. The plants in the mix grow tall and thick, creating a virtual wall. This makes the deer feel more comfortable using the plot during daylight. I shoot a 5-pin fuse sight, which is sighted 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And though I have never taken a 60-yard shot at a deer, I have taken shots in the 40 to 50, the 40-yard plus range. And having a smaller pin diameter that's really bright allows you to make precise shots even at these longer distances.
The 13-inch Realtree Easy Hanger is the perfect size for bow hunters because at 13 inches, when it's folded up, it doesn't take up too much room in your pack. Yet, it's long enough that when you screw it into the tree, you can get your bow out away from the base of the tree and easy to grab.
There's foam on there.
Yes.
There's foam.
2 nights ago, Joe and I, we were in pursuit of this deer, and he skirted us. He went around, right around our food plot and back out on the other side. So, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I got a phone call from the farmer that owns actually the fields that this kind of runs into. He said, "You guys trailing the deer?" I said, "Yeah, we're trailing the deer." He's working the field out there. You can still hear him. And he says, "Well, I saw a whole bunch of blood." And then he's like, he's dead. He's out there. So this is definitely Dad's largest deer ever. For him to shoot one with the bow at 60 years old, that's something I kind of wondered if it ever really would happen. So I'm more stoked than I've probably ever been killing a deer myself. So look at that. Oh, that is some character, man. Well, we often say that the journey makes the hunt, and this story and Dad's journey for not just this deer, but a deer in general.
I tell you what, I've had, the last 3 years, I've had so many encounters with deer. Last year was worm. I had at 28 yards. I couldn't finish the deal. Rick took care of that this year. The year before that, I had one. I plugged a tree at about 30 yards, and that was a really nice buck. It's just been continually trying to get on and get a good shot on a deer. And this morning it happened, and it's just, I mean, we've got a history on this deer. Last year, Joe passed on it because it was on a neighbor's property, and then 2 nights ago, Joe and I was down here in the same blind and hunting with a decoy, and he skirted around us and went on up into the dry pond, and we had good feelings that he was in this area, that maybe he was going to come back, we'd get another opportunity, and lo and behold, this morning, that opportunity presented itself at about 30 yards. So what an awesome hunt.
Good job, bud.
Awesome job.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big deer.
Time out.
Gonna enjoy all of it.
As Rick and Eric are dragging Eric's buck out of the woods, I'm going to keep moving. For the afternoon hunt, I plan to pull a redneck blind into a freshly picked cornfield. Deer love to scour cornfields right after the combine drives out. There's no better time to bring in a blind than immediately after the big diesel engines stop growling. We're heading back into the redneck blind right now that's back on that freshly picked cornfield. We walked this creek to get back there. It's kind of a twisty, windy road, but it keeps us out of sight from all the timbers all around us. And it's kind of an adventure in its own right. It's a lot of fun to walk that creek back in there. You never know what you're going to see. As I wait for the first wave of corn-hungry deer to arrive, 100 miles to the east, Jared and Mike are back after George Brett. By now, I'm sure you know how much we love hunting from comfortable redneck blinds. The only downside of these blinds is their lack of portability. However, by putting the blind on a trailer, I'm able to wheel it into the cornfield only hours after the combine pulled out. Hoyt's modern compounds are so efficient and so powerful that even when drawing limited poundage like Eric Knochel was on his hunt, you can still get enough penetration to punch through a shoulder. Without this kind of zip, Eric's story may not have ended with a celebration.
The Cabela Stalker Sling Pack is also a great choice for the public land hunter. It's very light and roomy, easy to pack in long distances, and it hangs in the tree without taking up a ton of room. We'll also use it when we're out running trail cameras because a laptop computer fits perfectly in the side pouch.
During the midsummer, we use these muddy climbing sticks all the time when we're out scouting. They're lightweight, easy to pack. We just bring a group of 4 of them in here, scale up the tree. That way we can scout out all of our trees for our tree stands for the upcoming fall, and then we come right back in with the same set of sticks, zip right up the tree, ready to kill them. Muddy climbing sticks, very easy tool to use, especially for those of you hunting public land.
Well, it is the afternoon of November 4th, and Mike and I are just finally all set up in the tree. We got some new information this afternoon about the deer I'm after, George Brett, and he happens to be in the area that we were actually hunting this morning. We didn't find out till about midday when we pulled all the cards. And there's a camera that I put down here a few weeks ago now. In the last 7 or 8 days, he showed up, I think, 4 different times on this particular camera, 3 or 4 different times. And this happens to be a spot. I mean, we're literally 20 yards away from the spot where he was locked up last year, and I got to film him fighting. So kind of a odd coincidence there, but he definitely seems to be using this area. We got a bunch of standing corn to our north. We're in this big creek bottom, and it's thick and brushy. Great place for does to bed. So pretty exciting knowing that we have a halfway decent pattern on him. I wouldn't call it a pattern, I guess, but we have an idea that he's on the farm and using this area. So excited to see what happens tonight. We got probably hour 15 minutes left of daylight here. Fingers crossed, we'll see what happens.
Despite the rut and the great stand, Jared and Mike only saw a fawn and 2 small bucks. However, my afternoon hunt was heating up. Well, we had some action here this evening. That one deer was probably a 4-year-old. He had a little tiny G4 on the left side, otherwise a little bit longer G4 on the right. So he was a small 10. I was thinking about it if he came close enough that I might be tempted to draw my bow back on that deer, but if nothing else, at least we got the blind in here. We got the deer starting to get used to it. I think this is going to be a fun spot to hunt. We can see a lot of country here. There's a lot of food back here, and we might just hunt that timber straight in front of the blind tomorrow morning. I haven't really decided yet where to go. It's going to be another south wind, and that stand in that timber would set up okay for a south wind, so that might be where you see us tomorrow morning. We had deer all around us this evening, but none of them so much as raised their noses. Filming hunts out of these redneck blinds, we need to keep at least one window open for the camera. That means there's always some scent escaping. However, with the ozonics pumping ozone into the blind, we were able to eliminate all human scent that would otherwise have spooked the deer on the downwind side. The Shark Dual Caliper release from Scott Archery is one of the most popular releases among our group of hunters. This release is highly adjustable. This is important because being able to adjust the length of the stem not only lets you fine-tune it for your hand size, but also allows you to pull the release up so that you can contact the trigger further into your index finger. This makes it a lot easier to produce a surprise release that results in the most accurate shooting. When I'm patterning a specific buck, my strategy involves 2 or 3 different parts. I go about this by putting bait in front of my trail cameras. In this case, the perfect camera would be the Muddy ProCam 10. It has a slightly slower trigger time and doesn't have the field scan features that I use for later stages of my patterning, but it does everything I need and is very affordable for this first part where I need as many cameras out, covering as many areas as I possibly can. Trophy rock minerals play an important role for us in two ways. First, they supply the mineral needs of the deer on the properties that we hunt. But just as important to us as hunters is the fact that the deer are very attracted to these sites, which makes them the perfect locations to get summertime trail camera pictures and gives us a head start going into the season. November 5th was very warm. I decided to skip the hunt and wait until the next day when the forecast was considerably cooler. However, Jared and Mike were undaunted and headed for their stand.
It's the afternoon, November 5th, and we have front rolling through overnight tonight. We've had upper 60-degree temperatures the last few days, a lot of south winds, and tomorrow everything's going to cool off really nice. West-northwest winds for the next couple of days, so we're hoping that tonight on the front end of this cold front rolling through, the deer will be moving, and so far we've seen good movement. I'd say Mike and I have been set up for about an hour now. Surprise, surprise, we did another hanging hunt. It seems like we've done that on almost every hunt so far this year.
Pine tree sap.
And Mike hasn't learned to wear gloves yet in these pine trees, so.
I don't want sap on my gloves.
But like I said, we've been set up for an hour and we've already had 3 bucks walk by. We're overlooking this grassy low area. It's kind of in between the big CRP and a big section of pines. We've made 2 hunts probably 125 yards away from here, and I saw a lot of deer using this area, so we decided to move in. And so far it's paid off. Just not the right deer, but it's good seeing bucks on their feet early. We probably have an hour left of tonight's hunt, so hoping George Brett is in this area. He definitely spent a lot of time in this general area last year. He's kind of been all over the place so far this year, but we'll see. You never know. Just one hot doe is all it takes this time of year, so got an hour left. Hopefully it'll be a good one.
Warm weather stymies the action. The rut doesn't stop. Bucks and does continue breeding, but the action takes place under the cooling cover of darkness. With another cold front on the horizon, everyone is looking ahead. November 7th is historically the best day of the season. We are only 2 days out. The next week will likely contain at least 2 dynamite days. Now is the time to hunt our best stands. We are only days from knowing how this journey will end, either with dream realized or broken. We have been chasing November for months. We have finally caught it.